Good morning, students. This is Today we are going to understand about the forms of business organization that we discussed earlier in the previous session. In the previous session, we discussed about three kinds of sectors: public sector, private sector, and joint sector. In which I told you that we will be focused on the private sector. Usually, the entrepreneurs who are starting their business tend to show a lot of positivity or tend to show a lot of eagerness in starting a sole proprietorship, partnership, and a company kind of business. It is not that they do not want to start joint into family or the cooperative, but generally the preference is lying under these three areas. Okay, now we will try to understand the first category, sole proprietorship. Why I am insisting and elaborately teaching you about this, even though few of you have studied in your grade 11, is you are having a project in this area where you will be deciding or making a choice of what kind of form of business organization you would like to start in the business plan. I insist one more time, either you can choose sole proprietor or partnership, because given within a 1 year's period of time, it is more suitable and adaptable that you either choose for a sole proprietorship business or a partnership kind of business. Now we will understand what is sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship, there is a popular definition given by W.R. Bassett, where he says that one man control is the best in the world if that one man control is the best in the world if that man is big enough to manage everything. Right? If you are able to manage everything on your own, if you are able to handle your business, the best thing is do not involve anybody else because you are the king here. Alright? Sole proprietorship, the image that I have kept is the image of the king coin in the chessboard, right? So here it represents that one decision making, one man show, and a kind of position where there is no compromise at all. For the positives or negatives that happen in the business, I am solely responsible. That kind of attitude if you have got, then you are the right person for a sole proprietorship kind of business. Now, we will do a small case study. This case study relates to your most favorite pizza corner, Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza was initially started by Tom Monaghan. Now we know it's a common household name, Domino's Pizza. But earlier when he started this business, see, I'll tell you about the childhood of Tom Monaghan. If you look at the interviews or the pattern in which he gives the interviews, there's a psychological factor in behind it. He really is very nervous. And when he speaks also, the way he speaks is, he may sound really very stern and rude. But the actual thing is, this guy was not having a very good proper childhood. He suffered a lot. He stayed in foster homes. He stayed in orphanages. Somehow he survived. He did not have a great childhood. And he and his brother Jim, both of them together started a small pizza outlet in the corner of a street that is very much like a mobile outlet. Right, it is not a very sophisticated one, and it is a very small. They took $900 loan for this, and they started an eatery, just like a chaat center or a fast food center in the corner of a street in Michigan. The thing, it so happened that they worked really very hard, but didn't make a great deal of business. Jim, after 1 year's time, his brother Jim also left him, so he is used to this betrayal. That's very hard paining for him. Now what happens after a certain period of time, this guy starts working 18 hours a day. He is the server, he is the cleaner, because he cannot pay to another person for getting the cleaning work done and everything done. So he really worked very hard to bring a good name to the product that he is on to. He used to take feedback from customers and manipulate or improvise on the products that he is giving in the eatery outlet that he had opened. But the bad thing that happened is he was very close to bankruptcy twice, where his eatery was almost in the cease position, the bankers who gave loan. And another time what happened is a very big fire accident happened. Luckily nothing happened to him, he survived the accident, but the entire eatery was burnt out. Despite of that, he didn't give up. Despite of that, he again worked very hard, and he started as a sole proprietorship, and he always says that because it was one man decision. If I had too many people with me doing business, they must have either given up or influenced me in giving up. I was the only person, and I decided that I'm going to do this because I have nothing else to do. I love this job and I'm committed to it. I really worked 18 hours on this. I invested my my lot of time in this. So I'm going to continue this business. And today we know what's the position of Domino's and how it is a local household name today. So this is the struggle story of Tom Monaghan, who started the popular pizza outlet Domino's Pizza. He started as a sole proprietor and ended up as a multinational corporation. Most big businesses, if you look into the history today, were first very small. From small only they became very, very big. Same way, they started small as a sole proprietor and they reached very big heights. He is one of the classic examples of sole proprietor, right? Now, what are all the characteristic features of sole proprietorship? If you have studied in grade level, it will be a recap for you, and those who have not studied, like students of science and students of humanities, they must not have known about a sole proprietor. What is this sole? All the time she's talking about sole trader, she's talking about Domino's Pizza. Sole trader means, sole means one. Trader means one person, one businessman. If only one person wants to be the owner of the business, he is referred to as sole proprietor. This is one category of business. I don't want any other person. I am the boss. I am the one and only boss. That means it is sole proprietorship. Understood? So now, characteristic features. First one is individual ownership. There is only one owner in a sole proprietor kind of organization. The business is exclusively managed and run and operated by a single person only. Right? Second, individual management and control. What is to be done, how it is to be done, where it has to be done, and when it is to be done. All the affairs of the business are managed and controlled by a sole proprietor. Now, you cannot, sometimes he may keep servants or maids or managers who work under him. He may take help of other people, but they are employees, they are not boss. There's only one boss. That's a sole trader. Got it? Individual financing. Yes, if you want to start a sole proprietor kind of business, you also are responsible for arranging the required capital to start the business. The investment factor related to sole proprietorship belongs to you. All investments is made by the sole proprietor only. All investments are made by him. If required, he or she has to access to loans, debts, or arranging from friends or relatives is your headache. Because you are the owner, you are solely responsible for the finance. And one drastic thing about a sole trader is there is no separate legal entity. This is a very important terminology. I am repeating. No separate legal entity. That means what? You and your business are one and the same. I will explain this one more time. Here, when I mean separate legal entity, suppose a sole proprietor is there. We will take an example of a Kirana shop owner, a general provision shop owner. So he took 50,000 rupees loan from SBI Bank, or he has taken it from one of the money lenders, Muhut Finance or somewhere. He has taken some 50,000 loan and he bought all the items and stock and he started doing the business. Somehow the business did not work very greatly for him, and thereby he took additional loans and all, and total loan came up to around 3 lakhs. Now what happens? He is not in a position to repay the loan. But the bankers or the money lenders are not going to keep quiet. Now when they ask for the money and he says, I don't have enough money, they will take away the personal property of sole trader. That is, they will go to the house of sole trader, light, fan, bulb, whatever is there in his house, it also belongs to the business only. A sole proprietor is not treated separately from his business. He is not treated as a separate person. Business ka funds alag, business ka accounts alag. Business mein jo whatever money is there, that you take away. But they are not going to do that way. They can also come and take the jewelry belonging to his wife, the assets belonging to his children. All those things that are legally where he has got a right, all those things will be taken away by the bank people, by the lenders. This is one of the things that, this is also referred to as unlimited liability. But no separate legal entity means the business and the sole proprietor are considered to be one and the same. Understood? So no legal entity means the proprietor and the proprietorship are one and the same business. The owner exists and the owner, they are existing together. Thus the owner's death, business also dies. If something happens to the sole proprietor, if he passes away, then the business is shut down. Suppose the sole proprietor is not keeping well and he may not open the shop. There is no hard and fast rule that the shop has to be open even if he is sick. He is the boss. He decides when to open, when to close. That is his business. So thereby there is no separate thing, in a sole proprietor kind of business. Unlimited liability. The proprietor is liable or responsible for all the losses and all the loans that he has taken. In case the business assets are insufficient, after taking the business assets also, if there is any balance of amount that is still pending towards the bank or any person who has given loan, personal property can be called upon to pay the business debts. This is the highest risk in sole proprietor kind of business. A great risk in sole proprietor kind of business. Then sole beneficiary. See, losses and solely responsible. But when I make great profits, all the profit belongs to me. I don't have to give it to anyone. It's my hard work. I'll pay the people who are there as their salary, their wages. The cleaners who come and help me in the restaurant, I'll pay them. But I am the boss. I run the business. Thereby, I enjoy the benefits totally. So here the sole proprietor alone is entitled to all the profits and losses of the business. So he puts his best heart and soul to increase the profits. You have no clue, students. I'll give you examples of these dhabas that are there in the highways, in the national highways and all. Day and night they work. They don't become very rich, but they give their heart and soul. Like that only sole proprietor is. Very hardworking, very efficient. Limited area. This is one easy formation. There are no legal formalities. To tell you very frankly, there are no legal formalities involved in starting up a sole proprietorship. The Indian law is completely silent about the legal formalities. But yes, there are certain industrial licenses that are required. But much legal formality is not there at all, children. So you can easily start a sole proprietorship. When you feel like shutdown, there is no great procedure. You don't have to go to the court and apply for a shutdown or any kind of procedure is not required. You can simply close the shop and say you are stopping the business. You feel like doing it, you do it. You don't feel like doing it, you can stop it. There is no hard and fast rule or any kind of procedure to be followed for starting and shutting down of a sole proprietorship. Limited area. This is one great difficulty, children. This form of business has limited area of operation. One thing is limited finance availability, limited managerial ability. Number one, I can't invest a lot of money. Sole prop, only one person, how much money he can invest? Single person it is. So maybe if he is rich enough, okay. But if he is not rich in most cases, so a small amount of money is only there. And the second thing is limited managerial. Sole means what? Only one person. If I want to open another branch, according to law, sole means single person. Which branch you are going to sit? I can't cut my body into two halves. First half will be in one branch, second half will be in another branch. That is not a possibility. So it has to be in one branch only. So thereby I cannot keep open branches at all. I have to operate from that location only. When I am operating from that location only, how much I can expand? There is no growth for expansion. No? Even though I am giving my heart and soul for the business and I am also working 18 hours, but since I chose sole proprietor kind of business, I cannot have another person who is ready to share my burden. Suppose if I go to the other branch, this branch can be taken care by another person. That choice is not there for a sole trader. He has to be physically present. That is one important feature of a sole proprietor. Single means one only. So if he is able to handle everything, then very good. But generally it is not a possibility. So this is with regard to your features of sole proprietorship. Right? Now I have given few examples of sole proprietor. Purposefully I gave this because you have to understand how small investment, with a small investment you can make big businesses. This is a kirana shop, this is a handicrafts example, and this is an online florist shop. Then we come to the suitability, where this kind of business is suitable, because you are all going to do a project on business plan and you have made choices about what kind of product or service you are going to choose, where this kind of sole proprietorship is suitable. Number one, where the capital requirement is not in billions and trillions. One person arranging money for in billions and trillions is a very big thing. So thereby, when the amount of capital required is very small and not very great, which is limited to few thousands or lakhs, then you can start with sole proprietorship. Then confidentiality. I have a proverb for this. Usually I say it in every class. There exists a secret between three when two are dead. Am I making sense? I will repeat one more time. There will exist a secret between three people when two are dead. That means the complete secrecy is maintained in sole proprietorship. There is no other person who knows about the next move of the sole proprietor. Next business secret of the proprietor, nobody knows. Right? Market is local. Yes, when I am starting my business and I have an intention that I will be doing only in a limited area, then sole proprietorship is good. When I want to have all India business, state level business, sole proprietor is not a possibility, because according to law, sole proprietor means only one branch, only one person has to sit in that branch. So you can't be antaryami, moving from one place to another just like you can manipulate yourself. You are not a Lord Krishna to have 1,000 appearances wherever you feel like, So that is the reason market scope is very less. Only local. Market is very local. Goods are generally of artistic nature, or goods are those things that are highly demanded. Market driven and demand driven groups, market driven and demand driven products or services come under the category of sole trader. So tomorrow when you are choosing your business plan project, you have to understand whether it is market driven or demand driven. If that category of product you are choosing, then sole proprietorship is your choice. Another thing is quick decision making. See, if there are 4 people, you have to sit, you have to discuss with them, pros and cons have to be analyzed, all the 4 have to agree, then only decision can be taken. But here the question itself is not there. I am solely responsible for the business, I am a single person, I decide in my mind, positive or negative, whatever is the impact, I am ready to face it. Thereby quick decision making is a possibility. Then size of the venture is small, students. Again, the market is also local, the size is also small, because the capital requirement is also very small. Now, you didn't invest in billions and trillions, so you invested very small. Right? Then what are the legal formalities involved in sole proprietorship? To tell you very frankly, I have also mentioned it here that a sole proprietor need not be registered. I will give you example. In Hyderabad, after coming here, I observed this during my initial years of stay in Hyderabad. There is one Jai Mata Di Pani Puri Bandi. Just 5 steps away, another Pani Puri Bandi. That's the name of that bandi is also Jai Mata Di Pani Puri. Right? Sai Kirana stores, and after 2 steps or 1 street away, there is another Sai Kirana store. Right? And the hair salons also, similar names they keep in Hyderabad. So there is no thing that there has to be some registration procedure. You can't keep my business name. You can't do that in sole proprietorship, because registration is not at all compulsory. There is no much great legal formality in starting a sole proprietorship kind of business. Now the first one, business name. Sole proprietors are under no legal obligation to choose business name that is according to the government. Government need not have any interference in their keeping names of their business. Howsoever, they are free to do so if they desire to. If they want to select a name and then want to register the name and make sure that nobody else is using it, then you can register. But there is no compulsion that you need not go and pay the fee for registration and get your business name registered. Right? That is not a requirement. But if you feel like doing it on your own interest, you can do it. Second one, service tax registration. Form ST1 has to be filled, but if your taxable services or your taxable income is beyond 10 lakh rupees, if you are making money that is crossing rupees 10 lakh, at that time service tax registration, ST form you have to fill. That you will get it in Aikar Bhavan or income tax department. There they will be providing you with that form. Form ST1 has to be filled for registration if the taxable services that you are providing is crossing rupees 10 lakhs. Then VAT and CST registration, now it is outdated, students, we are into GST, but still so sole proprietorship is doing some kind of tangible goods within the state, means VAT will apply. Outside the state also, interstate their supplies, there is a very rare case, but in interstate if the supplies are going, then the CST is applicable. But now for everything we are going to follow GST only. This is an old information. For VAT varies upon the city to city, state to state, the registration procedures vary. This is the very reason they eliminated this and brought about GST. So now because this information is old, they are insisting that depending upon that city, that state, that local authority or government in power, you have to have that procedure. Right? So other things that are required, there is a common man requirement here. You should have an Aadhaar card. You need not be a sole proprietor for that. Aadhaar card is a mandate requirement. I don't have to elaborately explain the importance of Aadhaar card, PAN card and all. So PAN card, the sole proprietor's bank account, and if you have a bank account in the name of your business, then you need to have for opening the bank account, you need to show your Aadhaar card, your PAN account, your shop and establishment license, employee provident fund registration. There is also some local association, students. I'll tell you how it is. If there is hair salons, in that within 15 kilometers radius, how many ever hair salons are there? There is one association, one union for them. Right, provision shop, there are associations and unions, they decide the welfare. There is a common welfare fund also for them, that they form it on their own. So, importer exporter code, if they are doing import export business. So these are all have to be complied with. Other things are like Aadhaar card, PAN card and all is important. Opening a bank account in the name of the shop is also very critical. You can have separate accounts, but ultimately it will be treated one and the same. But you can have separate accounts. Your household accounts are different. Your business accounts are different. Now, a sole trader meets the state and federal T5 payment of taxation requirements. Due to the fact that legally a sole tradership or a sole proprietorship is a single entity, he bears all the taxes related to the business. But I tell you, in India, these people do not have a proper accounting system only. They don't follow double entry system of accounting. If you go to any kirana shop and ask him about the accounting procedure, most of them they make a note only during credit sales. If you go to the shop and you buy a certain item and do not pay the money for it, they will make a note of your name and how much amount you are supposed to give. Then they leave you because you are a known person. They don't write every transaction. Have you seen any kirana shop or an ice cream parlor or anywhere where they are maintaining double entry system? They do not maintain. It is not required also. They are let free. They are small entrepreneurs. They are budding people who have to be encouraged and motivated. That is the very reason these sole proprietors, and generally they involve in trading. Very rarely they take up manufacturing, or they are into restaurants and other kinds of small petty businesses that initially they started. Later on when they grow, they choose for other options where they can expand. But in one thing you have to remember, students, in sole proprietor there is a biggest disadvantage and there is a biggest advantage. The disadvantage is unlimited liability and no separate legal entity. Unlimited liability means in case you make loss, just imagine I am a sole proprietor, I started a business of selling flowers or something, bouquets or something, and I made a horrible loss on the business. In what way my family members are responsible for it? It was my choice, my decision, my mistake. But my personal property also goes away. This is the greatest risk in sole proprietorship. The personal property is in a risk. Again, in a sole proprietor there is a greatest advantage that I take quick decisions. I am the boss. I enjoy the freedom. I enjoy the liberty, and there is no legal formalities greatly involved in starting. Whenever I feel like, I'll open. If there is a cricket match today, I am interested in watching the cricket, and I am not bothered to go to the shop. I do not go to the shop. There's no one who is going to question me. I shut down the shop and I focus on the TV. It's my interest, my will, and I can work 24/7 at any time. There is no hard and fast rule. If I'm punctual, if I'm disciplined, I make money. If I'm not, then I lose the money. But I'm solely responsible for my growth or my failure. This is with regard to the sole proprietor. Right? Sole proprietor, I have made a small picture here. Sole means one and only one. I am the only one. If you have that attitude, then you are a sole proprietor, and that would be me. And what I say are the rules. There is a popular Telugu proverb, Na mate sashanam. Same attitude for a sole proprietor. Who is the proprietor of this business? That person only will be responsible for all the customers. Got it? So with this, we conclude the sole proprietorship topic. Right? Hope you have understood this session. Sole proprietor is one of the forms of private sector enterprises. Sole means one and one only. When you want to, we shall do the recap of this. We understood what is sole proprietorship. We understood the case study of Tom with Domino's Pizza and what kind of struggles he faced. Earlier he started, most of the businesses are started small and later expanded and made big. So you can also choose a business as initially you can start as a sole proprietorship with small investments. Slowly when you make profit and when you are very confident, you can grow big and start a partnership or a company with the same thing. You can convert it. You can convert your sole proprietorship. That option is there. Right. We saw the examples of sole proprietorship. We saw the characteristic features of sole proprietorship. We saw the legal formalities that are not very strict and firm. We saw the procedures required by a sole proprietor. Like, name need not be registered, PAN card is important, VAT and CST registration, VAT within the state, CST beyond the state, interstate, import, export if you are doing such a kind of business. Generally it is not a possibility. A sole proprietor can never become a millionaire. A sole proprietor can never go very rich out of a sole proprietor business. He can make a little more money than what he is making through a salaried kind of stuff. But he cannot become a millionaire because he cannot open up branches or expand. His market is local, and there is very less scope to, for him to grow. He has to grow whatever he has to do from the same location. So the physical impossibility of working in all the branches at the same time is a very great disadvantage for a sole proprietor. At the same time, with a limited work, he is able to focus. Right? So with this, we wind up the topic on sole proprietor. In case you have any doubts related to it, please kindly come forward and ask. And I hope that you have understood this session. Have a fantastic day. Dada Sham.